You may recall this massive raid last fall by immigration agents on the South Shore apartment complex. 37 people were arrested that night, including U.S. citizens who were temporarily detained. Tonight, newly released arrest records are shedding more light on the government's reasons for conducting that raid. And they differ from what the Department of Homeland Security initially said. Investigative reporter Bennett Haeberle joining us now in the newsroom with what he's found out. Bennett?
Yeah, Allison, these arrest records emerged as part of an ongoing lawsuit filed by immigration attorneys who allege that hundreds of ICE detainees were improperly arrested. They include those swept up in that massive raid on the South Shore apartment complex just 4 months ago. This was the scene in late September as dozens of federal agents in Black Hawk helicopters surrounded a South Shore apartment complex. At the time, the Department of Homeland Security's press release said the operation involved arresting 37 people, including members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. But these newly obtained arrest records from 2 people apprehended that night make no mention of gangs. Instead, it says the operation was based on intelligence that there were illegal aliens unlawfully occupying apartments and that the building's owner and manager provided consent for the raid. We've not seen the arrest records for the 35 others.
To be clear, squatting an apartment is not a federal matter, and yet they used all of these resources and frankly brazenly violated the Constitution in order to have a shock and awe and frankly terrorized not only immigrants but many U.S. citizens were zip tied during that operation.
Attorney Mark Fleming with the National Immigration Justice Center is currently suing the federal government, alleging that hundreds of people swept up in Chicago's immigration crackdown were improperly arrested and detained. In court filings, his team argues that Border Patrol and ICE agents conducted warrantless arrests and failed to meet a policy requirement in doing so that includes justifying why the person being detained poses a flight risk.
What we've seen is particularly during Operation Midway Blitz, a complete disregard not only for what the law requires, but what the consent decree requires.
The South Shore raid is just one of the examples cited in Fleming's filings this week. Another includes this arrest from October 30th near Diversey and LeClaire Avenue. The arrest record says the person detained attempted to run away, but video introduced as an exhibit in the case does not appear to show that. It shows agents surround a work van and apprehend a man they say entered the U.S. illegally. Facial recognition technology was used, according to the report, and showed the man had no criminal record and had been in the U.S. 32 years. In previous court filings, the government has argued that its operation was not inherently unlawful. And attorneys for the U.S. government have until Monday to file their response to these latest filings. We did reach out to DHS for comment on the South Shore raid. We have not heard back. We also haven't heard back from the property owner or the management company. Another hearing in this case is set for next Friday. Stefan?